Hello everyone, I'm Chris Mozillo, Starbouncin, and today I'll be talking about an issue which I personally feel has plagued the gaming industry for quite a while now, which is the concept of releasing a game long before it's actually finished, or even close to finished. That's right, today we're going to be talking about just early access and how it's ultimately just a bunch of shit, really. Early access is the idea that the consumer pays to get access to an alpha build of a game, with the idea being that the funds gained from the sale of the unfinished game would go towards completing the development of the game, and that those who have paid to get access play the role of playtesters, giving feedback about bugs and gameplay, and it's currently a funding scheme that's taken off very quickly and led to many a developer and their grandmother having a go at making money off of something barely even finished. Now this sounds great, doesn't it? If there's an interesting indie game you like the look of, you could potentially throw some money at it and then hurry its development along, while at the same time being able to play it as it's worked on. Well, this is good and bad. Some games already went through some level of crowdfunding, making several millions of dollars only to come around a little later asking for more money, but now with a playable model. When your crowdfunding already surpasses more money than sense, is there a need to start looking for funding from the crowd? Again, in the case of Star Citizen, it's reportedly made a total of $46 million in crowdfunding funds, and still to this day has no solid release date other than 2015, maybe? When your indie studio is operating on a budget nearly equal to that of a big developer and publishing contract, you have to start wondering why it's taking so long to come out. One of the largest issues with early access, in my opinion, is that when you pay into a game's early access campaign, you're also technically buying the game. But in theory, that money is meant to go entirely to the development of the game itself. But it's still a sale of a game. The point I'm trying to raise here is, with a game in early access, how much of the money made from it goes towards development of the game and how much is taken as company profit. Star Citizen has $46 million rolling around their office. With that much money, surely more staff and more experienced staff could be hired on and thus speed up release. I've played Game Dev Tycoon, I have a vague and incorrect idea of how things work, and here's another issue that I find with early access. The player base is going to get bored with the game much quicker. Take Prison Architect, originally made available for paid alpha in 2011. To this day, it's still in early access with an amount of content, but it still feels a little shallow. I played it for a while and then got bored and now have no drive to ever play it again. And it's just weird that you can get tired of a game that you've paid for before it's actually been officially released. Or it may never be released. There is nothing forcing developers to actually release a game ever. What's stopping developers from just ending development now and saying it's all done and taking all the money? Nothing. Heck, they don't even have to say it's finished. They can just drop out of the project and not even officially release it. At least with other crowdfunding mechanisms, you're contractually obliged to release your product. But with early access, you technically already have. It's an alpha build and an unfinished game, sure, but they released something. In theory, the developer's done their part and provided you something for your money. They just decided to keep on working on the game just because. Early access just comes across as increasingly shady to me with every further game released on the platform, as you get zombie survival games that don't have the zombies or the survival parts put into it yet, or some terrible game thrown together in about 5 minutes and is then released as early access because there's no real quality level to be achieved with an early access game. It's an alpha build. In theory, an alpha build doesn't represent the final game, so what is currently a steaming pile could be great, but probably won't, and is just a steaming pile for heartless profit. It's the idea that because the game is unfinished, it should therefore be immune to critical review, as the game has potential to be completely different in the next week. It won't, but that's the vague arguments used. But when these games are on the market for 2 or 3 years asking for actual money which people don't have, in my books, that gives me all the clear to tear a new one. With both Rust and DayZ, two of the largest and most popular early access games, as well as some of the most original ones, both of their original creators have dropped out of the projects. I mean, come on, if the head designer of your game that you're willing to buy early access just decides that, nah, I'm not going to do it anymore, doesn't that just sound bad to you? All early access really kind of boils down to is the idea that consumers are being charged to playtest a game that a developer is working on. A job that used to be a paying job. But now, you get nothing at all, no credit. In fact, you get less than nothing, you get negative money. Less money than zero to playtest a game now. And that's kind of what it comes down to, is that you're playing, averages out at full price for an indie game for something that hasn't even come out yet, or may never come out yet, technically. It may never be finished. It may, it's just like at the moment it's like a drawing on the wall, when what you want is a video game. A lot of profits for the video game have already been made, so it's far too easy for developers to just cash out now and kind of just leave the game unfinished. And, there's no state of development which they have to get to in early access. They have every right to just call it quits here and walk away from it. Instead, you're just left investing in a semi-lucid idea that may never become fully tangible in the sense of video game data can be tangible. But then really, what do I know? DayZ has been in the top sales games since its fucking release into early access. Hey, if you've made it this far, thank you for watching my video. If you didn't make it this far, then... wait, how does that work? Anyway, if you liked what you saw, then by all means, feel free to tell me so in the comment section below. Or if you have any thoughts of your own on the subject, then leave them down below and I'll probably end up getting into an argument with you, because that's the sort of person I am. And if you hated me for no real valid reason, just leave that down below as well, because I love reading that sort of thing, because, it helps me sleep at night. Anyway, thank you very much. Feel free to check out anything, click on things on the screen, press your face on the screen. Just, live your lives how you want to do them. Don't listen to me, but also listen to me.